Hello guys, and welcome back to Minecraft Cities and Castles episode 16. Today we're taking a look at an unnamed castle because at the time I had just called it Germ World because this world uses the Germsy Boy texture pack, which was common a few years ago. And it's actually going to be the subject of my next video after this one. Should you build with texture packs? And I think you're going to see a couple reasons in this build why or why not, but I'm going to go more in depth on my thoughts in that video. So keep an eye out for that one. But without further ado, let's take a look. So essentially, what this world is a large kind of castle structure there with a small town on this side and a port on the other side. You can see that peeking over, as well as a church up here and a little churchyard. Let's start on this side where the town is. Coming in here, you'll see that the first thing that you see when you come into town are the stables. And then you have this kind of little shopping area. So here we have a little shop here, a flower stand, and then up here is an art shop. And this is basically the only time I've ever made an art shop. I probably should again, but I think it's a nice little place. So it's a little place where you can buy paintings. I did make an art gallery though in my Sarneville video, if you want to check that out, but I only showed it off pretty briefly. Also in the town, we have some little fishing shacks. I'll only show you one of these because they're both pretty similar, but essentially you have some kind of straw beds with fishing lines, or fishing nets, I mean, up there. And it's really like sparse kind of furnishings. Here we have the sleeping salmon. It's a little tavern on a diagonal. Diagonal builds are always hard, but I think they're fun, and they make chandeliers look really good, actually. So if you ever want to try out a little chandelier, definitely go for a diagonal build. Then down here we have a simple basement with some storage, and over here you can see we've got a lot of things cooking. And if we come up here, that's where they would essentially bring in the barrels of wine. We also have over here a little tailor shop. So here we have some straw dummies wearing some clothes and a little counter. And then if we go out back behind here, there's a little farmhouse. And this is a nice little kind of farming area. So it's this chicken coop here. Then here we have, I don't want to break any of these crops, but essentially it's a mix of like crops and then little irrigation channels. And this is all done with waterlogged wooden stairs. I built this kind of soon after, well, this was about 1.14. So bees and beehives weren't in the game yet. But this is pretty soon after waterlogging came into the game. And that was a pretty big game changer for a lot of little things, but especially farming. That about does it for the town. So if we fly back over here, we can take this bridge. And here we have a small storehouse just under the stairs. I'll take you down here first so that you can see the port. So there's this kind of wooden boardwalk area here with some canoes lined up on the side. And here we have a little insurance place. I think insurance buildings are something a lot of people don't ever think about. Whoops, I threw an egg there. My bad. It's definitely something not a lot of people think about putting in their builds, like city builds and stuff, but I think it adds a lot to the idea that this is like a thriving working place where people live and have to kind of secure their living, and especially if you have a lot of ships around. Insurance is going to be pretty important. Here we just have a simple little defensive thing to protect the port. One of the things that annoys me about this build is that some of the texture pack elements have changed. So that's definitely something to keep an eye out with texture packs, is that you can build something and it'll look really nice, and then you go back to it like a year later and you realize it's it doesn't make any sense anymore. I have no idea what this is doing here. But this is the port. It's mostly these little market stands. And we have the docks and the ships around here, a little tavern, and a customs house. I'll show you the customs house first. Essentially coming through this market, we have a little office down here. And then here we have a storage room for some of the kind of requisition things that people tried to bring in without paying taxes for. We have some little ship designs over here, so smaller ships as well as larger ones. In my later builds, I did look up some ship designs, but these are all basically organic. They're all mine, which is why they're a little bit rough around the edges at some parts. But I still like the kind of overall effect of this place a lot, especially with the shaders. And on the bottom of this ship, we have a mermaid. A very ugly mermaid, but a mermaid nonetheless. If we come on this ship, we can see that there are 4 sails. And then coming here, there is the kind of the deck. Up here we have the steering wheel. Then we can come down. Captain's quarters with a little bed down here. This is a mix of sleeping and storage. And then the bottom of the ship is essentially filled up, just because it's hard to make a floor on such a small space. But you can see that that's where they'd be lowering all these crates. And if you're wondering, these are retextured note blocks. Let's get back over here though, and we'll take a quick look at the inn here. This is called the Harbor Hollow. So here we have a little guest entry room, kind of a tavern area eating place. And then this is kind of based off of Markarth and Skyrim. If you know how that city is laid out, there's a lot of these kind of carved out passageways. And especially the inn in Markarth looks a lot like this. So it's kind of like a hollowed out stone area. I just realized what those are. Okay, if you do double stone slabs, that's what creates that. See, that wasn't originally in the world, so texture packs. But this is the kitchen. We have some simple rooms here. And then at the very end, we have the private room for the person who actually lives here. And you can tell that this is kind of a kind of carved out / cave area that's been supported with a lot of bricks. And I think this room looks really pretty. That's basically all the sandstone texture, which the sandstone didn't even look like that when I built this, so isn't that nice? Here we have the kind of side entrance into the castle. But I'm going to tease you for just a little bit longer on what the inside of this place is, because we're going to flip back around to this side. If you remember, that's where we started. Long fall there, sorry. We can come up this huge staircase here. And then you can see that the castle is up there, and here we have the church. So it's a really simple thing. You have your wooden pews, come up here, and a little lectern to read from with a cross on the wall, of course. And here we're using 2 types of glass to get kind of a neat effect. It's light and normal gray stained glass. But of course that is texture pack stuff. And if we come down this little path here, we can come out back to the graveyard. I think graveyards are always nice builds. I don't know, they might be kind of morbid, but I think that they're also really pretty. Especially if you've ever been to a really nice one, like Père Lachaise in Paris. There's some really nice stuff there, and you know, I think that death isn't necessarily a negative thing. It can be beautiful as well, and I think that graveyards really embody that sentiment of it's something that is somber, but it's not necessarily upsetting. A lot of times if you just walk by a graveyard, you'll see it's just a really peaceful place. And moving on from that, we have the beginnings of the castle here. So we have a little tower. If you want to get up into it, essentially come around the back here and through this little door. You can see that this is a build that I went back to a couple years afterward because there are candles here. So crossing over this large bridge, I'll show you briefly that there is a little cage down here for prisoners. I don't know, it looked good. I think it definitely adds something visually. Maybe a bit morbid. I'd say more morbid than the graveyard, actually. And here we are using barrier blocks to make these rails stand up. So we have a little drawbridge. So coming inside here, we have an entrance room. Whoops. Fortification kind of place here, so like defenses. Then here is the feast hall. So here we have a lot of these tall candles. Like I said in my Stoneheart video, I think these look better without shaders, but I won't take them off right now just because it'll be a pain to get them back on. But it's a nice kind of room, so you have this kind of dais up here, complete with banners, and that has kind of like a lordly appearance. It's very symmetrical. And you have some tables down here. If you came in, say, and you wanted to plead your case to the king, you could kneel down here in front of the little dais. And then over here we have just a little chill hangout spot. A lot of flowers here. I'll take you downstairs before I take you to the top. So down here we have storage room, kitchens, very large kitchen. So here we have a little like meat chopping area, a huge furnace, cabinets. Over here we have like this huge like meal prep area. So we have our fish, our steak, our mutton, pork chops, and then more cabinets up here. Here we have our fruits and vegetables, meat in a separate little part. Back here we have the ice. So the ice has to be kept surrounded by hay so that it doesn't melt essentially. So you're using kind of like straw and sawdust as insulation. Then over here is a little servant area. If you're wondering why it's behind the pantry, it's because we don't care about those guys. Sorry, workers' rights, but it is the Middle Ages and yeah, not looking too good. Over here though we have the cellar with some acacia and I think oak barrels. A regular storage room. And if we come down here, we have a little office, and that's where the back door of the castle was. And now I will take you back into the castle proper, and we'll go back up those stairs. So, whoops. Over here we have a kind of winding spiral staircase. This is the king's chambers, essentially. Nice painting. But you have a little fire here, your books, your little desk area. Over here we have a huge bed. I would definitely make this smaller if I made this build today. That's too much. Then we can come around here. And there's a small hallway before we get to the kind of defensive area. So I didn't show it, but if you actually come in here and you look up, you will see what are called murder holes. And not a great place to be under a murder hole, hence the name murder. And then just another little defensive area here. Because that's where the back door is, so you want to be able to protect that. Let's go up another level though. Here we have that balcony that you would have seen from here. And then if we go up just a little bit further, we have this really weird room. Sometimes you end up with a weird space in your build and you gotta find a way to fill it in a non-awkward way. I don't think I really succeeded here. This is really awkward. So you have a staircase in the middle of the room that you kind of pass under as well. Because you need to get to this room here. So this is a barracks for soldiers. And then here you have a kind of nicer sleeping room. But I didn't want to waste the space, so the upper half of this attic is a little wizard's kind of area. So you have an enchanting table, some poison potions, and some bookshelves and stuff. And then I'll just show you the last little bit of this castle, which is this tower up here. So it's a really simple little one-room place. You could imagine maybe like a knight lives up here or something, or say the king's son or something. Perhaps a royal advisor. That's gonna do it for this place today. I just realized I'm gonna have to name this place so I can make a title. That's gonna be weird. Anyway though, when you see this video, this place will have a name. And I will see you guys next time. Hope you enjoyed. If you did, please leave a like, subscribe, and stick around for episode 17. So yeah, see ya.